So today we're going to be working on my Slipper 17, and some of you who have these are familiar with the front ports. They do open from inside. However, there's no screen, which is not always fun. You can have bugs coming in. And what I've decided to do is, because I wanted to have some air circulating through, but without having to suffer with bugs, I've created a very simple little device that fits really well. And I think some of you who have Slipper 17s out there, or any small boat, perhaps a compact 16, any boats that have a round port, or I'm sure you could probably adapt in other ways. This is, I got this idea. This is actually, got this from a craft shop, Hobby Lobby. If you look at it, some of you may recognize what it is. It's a needlepoint hoop. And what I did is I actually just pressed the inner part of the hoop onto the outside one with a screen inside of it. It's just the I think it's nylon screen, and then I epoxied that, removed the little metal screw, and as you notice, it fits pretty well. And with a little bit of sealant around the edge, I'm going to secure it. Now, it's obviously not permanent, but that's okay. The screen, if you know, it can. This one has some tears in it, so it's replaceable. The whole thing is replaceable. This needlepoint loop made out of wood, I think it was like $1.99. So I'm not too concerned about the whole thing, but it'll give a fairly good fit, and with some sealant, it'll last a season. And then, of course, inside, the window closes so that I can keep out the rain. But if I want to have air circulating through, but I don't want to have any bugs, this makes a good fit, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a moment. All right, so these are the needlepoint loops. As you can see, they've got the screw to tighten down, to bind up. It's got the inner ring, which is slightly smaller, fits inside, and of course the outer ring. And what I've done over here is I've got some screen material, and pressing down the inner loop over that, securing it down, you can see on the other side, just to make a nice snug fit. And then I'm going to take a utility knife, cut around the edge. I'll seal it up with an epoxy to make sure it stays in place. And then, as I said before, what we'll do is we'll mount it right into the port with a little bit of adhesive, marine adhesive, something that I can take in and out without having to worry about any extensive work. And I think this is going to give me a very simple and effective screening. Of course, once all this is secured, I do remove that metal piece carefully. With a utility knife, you can pull that off without causing too much damage. Okay, so I've cut the excess screening. So as you can see, it's got the screen in it, and it's pretty nice. It looks pretty good. What I'm going to do I'm not going to show this on the video, but just around the edge, I've trimmed it so there's not a whole lot of excess left over, but I want to make sure that there's enough to secure the screen. It probably wouldn't take much at this point to push in the screen and pop it out, especially since it's not epoxied. But with a little bit of epoxy glue, I can secure that. Once that's set, it's not going to go anywhere. I will remove the screw part, and you can see those little rivets, and just with a utility knife, if I can hold that here, with a utility knife, I can actually go in there and I can just pop those off. Again, being careful. And you're going to find that there is going to be a little bit of a gap between the first ring and the second ring, but nothing significant. And then when you do press that into your port, again with the sealant to keep it in place, that's going to be real minimal, and you'll find that it's not going to be much of a problem. I don't want this to be a permanent fixture. The benefit of this is that it's inexpensive. It's a good, simple way of making a screen for my port without having really to cost anything. I mean, it was, about $2 for the embroidery loop. The screen material I had, as you can see, I've got quite a lot, so I have extra. And then just the time of doing it, and then of course the glue and the adhesive. So I think for about $2-3 and some time, you can really make an effective bug screen that you can put into your port. Well, thanks for watching, and this is my first attempt at videos, so it's a little rough, but thank you very much for watching, and happy sailing, fair winds. Bye-bye.